Good morning. Welcome back to Chasing Trails. Today's video, as you can see, I'm not out in the woods. I'm not out hiking. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to cover the last couple hikes I did. I'm going to do these on occasion, maybe every week, maybe every couple weeks, whatever. Just to talk a little bit about the routes themselves and some of my experiences on those routes with the terrain, and along with that, of course, a little bit on the equipment. Let's get some go-go juice in us and let's get started. So on the routes, of the routes that I posted, the total mileage was about 38 to 40 miles. Overall, I enjoyed all the routes that I did. Some of them were harder than what they listed them as, and some of them were not as hard as they listed them. I would be remiss, first of all, if I didn't talk about the most recent posting I did, which was with my workmate, Santino. I just want to thank him again for being such a good sport. He said he saw the video. He's looking forward to going back out with us. So can look forward to that in the near future. As far as routes themselves go and the things I noticed about them, I noticed that I have a personal preference, of course, for not walking on pavement. If you walk on pavement for a long period of time, it's first of all, it's kind of monotonous because, you know, it's pavement. And secondly, it's kind of it can be, I can see how you could hurt your, or affect your, I don't want to say hurt yourself because you're probably not going to hurt yourself right away, but in a short period of time you could damage yourself versus walking off-road on the dirt trails and stuff like that. Plus there's something else to be said when you're walking through the dirt trails. You know, you feel a little bit more like an explorer and less like an everyday person. The fortunate thing about doing a lot of these hikes near a city, of course, is that the wildlife is kind of sparse, other than the flying annoying insects and such. But there were still some. A lot of it I didn't get a chance to capture on camera. I talked a little bit about the little deers that I saw out there that just, they're gone before you know what to do. So, you know, while I'm working up my hiking skills, I am doing most of these in forest nearby the city because they're easiest for me to get to. And B, you know, before I go out on some of these long country walks in some of these other countries, I need to make sure that I'm on par. Make sure that I'm in good enough shape to handle without any issues, physical shape that is. And I'm feeling pretty confident myself. But over the next couple hikes, what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a couple of longer hikes. I plan on mixing in, about a 20-mile hike. 20-ish mile hike, and most of the hikes that I do coming up will probably be in 15 mile range, like I said, with the exception of that 120. Following week I'd kind of like to move that up and get into 25 to 30. Once I'm at that level, I'll feel that I'm ready to tackle most any of the other hiking trails in some of the other countries that I'm going to run into. Next we're going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit about gear. I'm not going to go into an in-depth gear review. I am going to talk about a couple of the pieces that I've been using. First thing, I'm going to start with the important things I talked about in my first video, with the exception of underwear, of course. I'm not going to show you my underwear. There's no real point. You want to see a picture of them? Go to Amazon, type in ex officio, and you'll find them. Socks. I'm going to start there. I do use inserts. Now, these I've actually got for a really good price on Sierra Trading Post. They really do have some great deals on socks, man. And they seem to work very well. These are my inserts that I've been using. They're Bridgedale. I think I got these for like $4. Most of these pairs I'm showing you are for $4. And when you move up in the world of socks, especially when you go to merino wool socks, like I said, they can run you upwards of $20-$30 a pair. So, you know, choose wisely. Now I put about over 40 miles on these socks. I've actually put on closer to about 60 miles, 70 miles in hikes. Most of it have been in these, and these are my Ballston socks, which I also got from Sierra Trading Post. And these ran me about $3.50 after the discount. They're holding up really well. There's no signs of wear, no signs of tear in the heels or in the toes. No toe holes in the top. So no breathing, which is a good thing. And these socks, they wick away the moisture just well. I mean, every time I finish any hike I've done, between these inserts and these socks, they have been on point. I've had no moisture problems with my feet. It's been a wonderful thing. Now, a new pair I've been trying out that I got for free with another pair of boots I got for winter, hiking boots I got for winter, which I haven't talked about or shown yet, and I will in the future because I really love these boots. But I'm in the process of trying to break them in a little bit before winter gets here. Are these, and these are made by a company called Darn Tough socks. They're also merino wool. I've only wore these on, I just wore them on my last hike, the one that I did with Santino, and I can tell you they performed really well, and I'm looking forward to running them through a couple more to see, make sure that their wear is good on them. But I think they got some kind of super warranty or super guarantee on them, which is an awesome thing. And of course, if you're going to wear socks, moving on, when you're wearing socks, you got to wear shoes. Hiking shoes I've been wearing for now are these Merrell Dries, I think they're called. Now, I got these about sometime in the last year before I came over here. These are actually really good school shoes. They're really light. They're kind of a cross, actually, for being hiking shoes between a running shoe and a hiking shoe. Here's the tread. These are thoroughly broken, and let me tell you, they're uber comfortable from what I've seen on the trail. I really do like them. I am looking forward to trying out some other shoes. I'm looking forward to trying out the winter ones, which I have not talked about yet and will in the future. As well, I want to get a pair of low quarters and try those out as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to like hiking in low quarters. I know I like hiking in these, but we shall soon find out. Alright, so moving on. My most critical piece of equipment, and the piece that I love the most, of course, is my Garmin. The 64GS or 64ST. This thing just straight rocks. Santino was using it, and once I put in the route, I mean, he had no problems with it. This thing is a blessing. If you're gonna hike, you're gonna hike distance, you're gonna hike unknown trails, especially for the unknown trails, and even for trails you know, you definitely want to have one of these bad boys or something in the Garmin family. I mean, you really can't go wrong with Garmin family. Garmin's been around for a long time. They've been doing it, and they do it well. There's a reason they're so popular, and that's it. Now, additionally, one of my videos I talked about, I think my last one, or maybe it was one before, that I had bought some moleskin from one of my partners at work, and he gave me a great deal. I got this. It's a box of moleskin. Let me pull this bad boy out and show it to you, because this will last me for a lifetime. This is a roll of moleskin. I gave him like 30 bucks for it as well. He was asking, and I think I got a steal personally. I will definitely be using that, and I am really happy that I will never have to buy moleskin ever again, so long as I live. So the last couple small things before we get into the fun things. First is, I'll talk a little bit about my first aid kit, which I talked about in the last video. I actually on the Outdoor Gear Review channel hosted by Luke, which I've mentioned before. He actually brought these up, and I went and found them on Amazon. These little bags, they come in a set of 4, and I paid like, I think they were like $3, $4, something like that. They're cheap, and there's 4 of them of different sizes. They have a little zipper in the middle. They have clip-ons at the top, and I really like these for keeping my individual kits separate from each other and carry, you know, versus what a lot of people are doing now, and even he does on his channel, I could say, is they carry something like the Maxpedition or the Vanquist EDC packs, which, you know, I like to have a purpose, and I think they're more suited. Personally, I prefer them more for like a vehicle use, or for my backpack that I take to work, or something of that nature. When it comes to hiking and being out there, I think that it's more practical for me to have them in something like this, where it's, hey, I know exactly what pocket to go to. Something like this will fit much easier in an external pocket of, say, my 30-liter pack than this. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. I use this. I like this. Now, speaking of packs, let's move on to them. The pack that I've been using on most of my hikes is the Durant's, or Perino Durant's 30-liter pack. It's a great pack. Does it have some shortcomings? Yes. One of the shortcomings people might not like about it is it doesn't have a pockets on the side for water bottles, but really when you're doing a day hike, and I understand the reason for taking a day or a bottle, but if you're doing something less than 20 miles, do you really need a bottle? No, because usually that 3-liter Camelback that you use is going to probably be enough to get you through the hike, unless you are a water hog and you're drinking water every mile. I'm not that kind of person. I can do on my 15-mile hike, the 14 point something I did recently, I think I drank about maybe half of the 3-liter, but I've never really been, I've always not necessarily been a water hog. I hate to use that term, but that's what I'm gonna call it, a water hog. I have another word for it. So I do use that, or it's just a matter of your personal body type. Maybe you're a person that uses a lot of water, and something like this won't work for you because you absolutely do need to purify water, which I do carry a way to purify water with me, of course, when I'm out. But on longer hikes, absolutely. If I was doing a longer day hike, like 20 or 30, or when I go into 20, especially when I get close to that 30-mile range, this probably won't work. I'll probably have to have a different pack. Now, one of the other problems I had with this pack initially is when I was on my first hike that I videotaped, which is really about the first time that I used this pack, it just didn't sit right. And I did the adjustments prior, but man, when I came out that first hike, my shoulders really hurt, and I was like, man, I have got to find a way to make some adjustments on this bad boy. And I did figure it out. I made the adjustments, and after that, I've had no issues. So, was the riding uncomfortable initially? Yes, but after I refined the adjustments, I found that it carries just fine. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on the pack. As you can see, I got my little sweatband here, which is, well, like I said in that one video, a necessity. It's a beautiful thing. Also in this pack, let me show you something else I keep. Now, there's different ways, and a lot of people don't do it, I'm sure, but I keep notes of my hikes. And in here I'll put things like where it was, what time it was, how far it was, the weather conditions, and then I'll talk a little bit about the hike itself, some of the things I like, maybe some of the things I didn't like, if it rained, if it snowed, if it did whatever, or any issues I ran into. Maybe it's too much hardball, there's just too much hardball on this route, and that's usually a key for me not to do it again. But it's a good way to go back and reevaluate routes, especially if you're going to do them again in the future. And we do have so many routes around the city that I'm going to forget probably some of the stuff about routes, but I could know now that I can always refer back to that book and refer to one of those names that I can't pronounce and say, oh yeah, this is a good route, or oh yeah, this is a route I didn't care for so much. Anyways, that's one pack. Now the other pack that I have used that I haven't shot on video yet, and this is what I used with my partner in crime when I go out with him and do some hardcore moving around in the bush. This is the set this bad boy up here. You can see I still got some stuff in here. This is the Jack Wolfskin 65-liter Durance. This is a very comfortable pack. It's got a lot of really good padding. It's even got the little swivel thing on the hips, which I know that's a big thing with some people. They really do appreciate the swivel. If it's got good padding, it's a comfortable pack. I don't know that the swiveling's really, and the hips is really that important, but I got it. There are some people out there that really think that that's a good thing. To me, it really doesn't matter one way or the other. It's the first of my larger packs, and I'm looking forward to getting some more larger packs in the future and trying them out, but I really do like this one. I'll be taking this one out again with him when we go out this coming week, and I think we might be doing a camping thing, an overnight thing, so that'll be really be its field test, so to speak. Right now this pack maybe has about, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it. I want to say the hike we did with it was about 12 miles, but it's not a bad pack. It's got lots of access points. It's got, I'm not going to go into the pack in depth. Maybe in a future video I'll talk about it more in depth, but so far so good on this one. Now, when we're talking about packs, being in the military, I've got to express my opinion on the military's rucksack. All right, now understand that the Army Marines, primary users of the backpack. At one time, the Army had something called the Alice pack, which is an external frame metal pack, or a pack, and that was an awesome pack. It was a great pack to hike with. Then came the new generation, and both the Marines got a new generation, and we got a new generation. The Marines version is, of course, the ILBE, which is very popular. It's popular for a reason. Their pack was designed by Arc'teryx, and it was made by another company, then contracted out to another company to make. Well, Arc'teryx, anybody that is in civilian hiking knows Arc'teryx, and knows that the thing called the Arc'teryx Ultra is like the ultimate backpack, and has the ultimate price, but you pay for quality. It's also a somewhat expensive pack. It holds 120-ish, 140 liters, I believe. So it'll hold as much as the Army's version does as well. Now, and of course, the Marine pack is also heavy, but all military gear is heavy. Now, the Army backpack, let's talk about that a little bit. The Army rucksack. The current version, of course, it's heavy. It will hold a lot of stuff, and believe me, when you go to the field with most units, they will pack it full of all that stuff for you. The packing list can be onerous. Would be a good word to put it. A good way to put it. It was designed by Joe and Bob Sue, I think, from some part of the world that no one ever goes to, and of course built by the lowest bidder. And this is bad boy right here. And let me tell you something about this thing. This pack, in my professional opinion, and on this I can speak professionally, and I realize that before I say this, I realize that there are some guys in the Army out there who are going to say, no, I love this pack. I hate this pack. Wearing this pack for any distance sucks, for lack of a better word. It is an awful pack. Not the pack itself necessarily, because this thing can hold your house, but the straps, the waist belt, it's awful. The external frame, you can't. If I go 5 miles in this thing, it's a complete nightmare. It's causing me all kinds of pain. I'm not a big fan of it. I've done the 12 milers in it, and man, that wiped me out. But yeah, that's my opinion on this bad boy right here. And then we'll go put it away and just keep it somewhere far away from me, because just feeling it makes me inside. That's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to share some of the equipment that I've been using. Obviously, I haven't shown you all of it. I didn't talk about my rain top and the fleece and sleeping bag and things like that, which I haven't really used yet, which have been more filler for my hikes just to add some weight. I will talk about those obviously in the future as I use them. I am looking forward to trying out some different packs and some different shoes, different socks, things of that nature, just to try and get a feel for what's good and what, well, sucks. With that said, hey, I want to thank all of you for watching once again. The only thing left to say really is to get off your fourth point of contact and get out there and do it.